What's up, everybody? I just wanted to do a quick video on developing your groove, finding your groove. Actually, this is going to be 2 videos, but right now we're going to focus on a few things that I think that's important when developing your groove. I think, first of all, let me start off by saying that if you have all the chops in the world, if you know all the scales, if you're like the flashiest person in the world on the bass, but your groove sucks, you're not going to get the work, let's say the kind of work over here where this guy may not have the chops, he may not be flashy, he may not know all the scales and all the theory, but his groove is solid. They're going to be the person that get the calls, they get the big gigs, the tours, the studio work, and, stuff like that. It doesn't really matter how many licks to be considered a great bass player. If you want to work with the artist and get the calls and get the gigs and, be a successful bass player, you have to know how to keep a solid groove. That's very important. So it's not about how much, as far as like licks and all this stuff. That's not the key. And I see a lot of young bass players, get so caught up. And I used to be this way too. We get so caught up into knowing all the licks and all the Victor Wooten licks and all the Stanley Clark licks until we just forget how to groove. And speaking of Victor Wooten, Stanley Clark, and all those kind of cats, although they have a lot of chops, they still have a solid groove. Listen to Victor Wooten when he's playing with Mike Stern and all these other artists. His groove is solid, although he know a million licks. The same thing with Marcus Miller. Marcus Miller has chops for days, but when he lays in that pocket, he's in the pocket. So keep that in mind when you're playing. The key role of a bass player is to have a solid groove, not unless, you're a solo artist or something, or you're doing your own thing. That's a totally different story. But in general, if you want the big calls, if you want the big gigs, you have to make sure that your groove is together, point blank. And there are 4 things that I think a bass player should know when making a solid groove. And these are just my opinion. So it's not something that's just set in stone and whatever, but this is just my opinion. Point number 1, I think that what makes a bass player a solid bass player and they can develop a solid groove is the bass player has to be in tune with the drummer and listen to the kick drum. When you are playing with the band, you and that drummer are one. You and that drummer are married. Y'all are a couple. Y'all are happy. Y'all don't have any problems. Y'all are like the perfect couple. Well, that's how it should be. You two should be that tight, because if you play with a drummer and let's say the drummer groove is not together and let's say the bass player's groove is not together, the whole thing just falls apart. The band is not going to sound good. So you have to make sure that you are listening to the drummer is listening to you, and you all have to lock with the kick drum, lock with that bass drum. That's the key element because that sets the foundation of the song, which brings me to my next point, setting the foundation. You cannot build a house on a ground that's not solid. So me saying that, the bass is the foundation of the band. Everybody else builds on top of the foundation. The vocals, the piano, the singers. The bass sets the foundation of the overall band. So if your groove is not solid or your foundation is not solid, everything falls apart. Listen to all the instruments, not just the drums, but listen to everything. If you're playing with a 3-piece, let's say if you're playing with a drummer and a guitar player, listen to the guitar player, because when you're listening to the drums, you're setting the foundation. So let's say like if you wanted to add like a bass lick or something like that in the music, well, you have to make sure that you're not stepping on any other instruments. You have to make sure that you're not stepping on the singer. You're not stepping on the keyboards, because you have to keep in mind that you are the foundation, but let's say you want to embellish on a groove a little bit and add like a little spice to it, but you have to make sure that there's room for that, because your main role in the band is to lay down that foundation, and that brings me to my next point. Less is more. I hear this all the time. A lot of old school bass players know this, less is more. The reason why I say less is more is because, like I said from the beginning, the bass player role is to lay down a foundation. And let's say like if you did want to embellish on the music a little bit, like you hear a chord and you want to do something around the chord, you can do that, but don't get caught up in thinking about, oh, I want to play licks. I want to do chops, because now you're stepping out of the role of a bass player and you're stepping on, now you're stepping on the singer, or you're stepping on the other instruments that's supposed to be on top of the foundation, so not unless you are in a musical situation where you can do that, but 9 times out of 10, the people that's, like I said, that's getting the work, that's getting the gigs, that's getting all the big tours, they don't play a lot of chops on those tours. They just lay down the groove and they play the song the way the song is supposed to be played. They lay down the foundation. They follow the kick drum and the drummer, and they don't do a lot of stuff, and that is what the artists want, So I'm trying to help you all get some gigs out there. I'm trying to help you all become better musicians. I'm going to demonstrate me playing with all these points that I made. I made 4 points. The first point I made was listening to the kick drum. The second point I made was setting the foundation. The third point I made was listening to everything, not just the kick drum. The kick drum is important, but you want to make sure you're listening to everything as well. And the fourth point I made was less is more. So check out this video, not the video, but check out this song that I'm about to play, demonstrating these 4 key elements that I just talked about. And hopefully you can pick this up and you can apply this concept to your bass playing and to when you play in your with your bands and you audition for the gigs or whatever. You keep these points in mind, and it's going to help you become more successful bass players. So check out this clip.
Turn me up. Everybody, we're having a party. You can come and really get down. You don't need no money or fancy clothes. All you need to do is get down on the floor. Let me see you stomp your feet. Come and get funky with me. Yeah. Let me see you clap your hands. Let me see you stomp your feet. Come get funky with me. Yeah. Let me see you clap your hands. Let me see you stomp your feet. Come and get funky with me. Yeah. I can't help myself, 'cause when I hear the music, the rhythm gets in my feet. Whoa. I'm so excited. Ooh, it's getting crowded, but we can take it to the streets. It's gonna be a party, y'all. Get on the floor.
right, so that was a little clip of me playing the, laying down a pocket, playing with the groove. The drums were really simple. The drums were, just 2 and 4 or whatever. But I played with the drums and I kept it simple. And then when I did play like little fills, it was in the right spots. I wasn't stepping on nobody. I wasn't stepping on the singer. And, even when I did embellish a little bit on, like a lick or something, I always went straight back to the groove, So, and then the overall song just, it just felt good. Even though the drums were simple, it actually allowed me to kind of, pump it up a little bit because it wasn't a lot going on with the drums. I'm going to upload another video. It's going to be part 2 to this. I'm going to upload another part of this video, and the drums are going to be a little bit more rhythmic. So stick around for that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be uploading more videos on groove techniques, things like that. If you have any questions, email me, leave them in the comment. I'll read them and I will try to get to your question, and I will try to make a video of it. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys on the next video.